Peace and blessings, guys and goddesses. It's your boy Free Shabazz. On my way to the gym. Just was walking. I'm just walking to the gym. I'm about to be there soon, so this ain't gonna be that long of a video. But this is kind of a continuation of the Black accountability. Now, I was watching some videos. Let me just get into context. This is basically gonna be about, a lot of those. I feel like I don't even know what to call it. It's beyond cooning. I don't even know what it is. It's just crazy. I've watched Tommy Sotomayor since like 2010, and I guarded myself. I'm a young man. I'm in my mid-20s. Coming up, I grew up in the Nation of Islam. I grew up in different belief systems, reading different things. My father raised me to read just different contexts, not just one way. He always said you can find truth in many different things. It's not just one base thing. My father said he found his truth in the Nation of Islam. I might find my truth something else. But I digress. And so I say this, I watched Tommy Sotomayor for some years, Jesse Lee Peterson. I watched these different people, not just to condemn them, but to understand their ideologies and where they come from. And I tried to give an understanding where the hate comes from. And so I understand why a lot of times Tommy Sotomayor feels how he feels. That doesn't mean I agree or condone, how he feels about black women, black people in general. But it just bothers me that, if that's his platform, that's his platform. But you have other black people who will attest and agree to this. And you have, I watched the debates with Brother Polite, and I'm not a Brother Polite. I like Brother Polite too. I grew up watching him as well. And I have my agreements and disagreements with everybody. But it's like, you literally have other black people who try to do the same exact thing that Tommy does. And they're literally, coming at Brother Polite. All he's trying to do is bring black people together. For the most part. I don't agree with everything, but the things that he's talking about. And you have other black people who will dismantle and discourage what's going on, as if like, yeah, I'm on Tommy's side. As if there's really a side to be on other than the side of your people and to work with your people. Nobody's not saying to condone or to big up like the bad in our neighborhoods. Yes, let's talk about that. Let's down that. We don't want to accept, the ratchetness. We don't want to accept the gang membership. But we got to understand that with the dichotomy, where it comes from. And so, listening to Brother Polite talk about that, and you still have black people who do that. And so I realized Tommy's not doing this because just out of emotion. He recognized, hey, it started out as emotion, and now I get profit from it. And so now I can flourish. And that's what really bothers me. And you have other black people who don't get no money for none of this stuff. Yeah, I'm on Tommy's side. Yeah, like as if that's helping black people. How is what he doing uplifting and making a better plight for black people? Only thing you doing is making yourself look bad. I see no Jews doing that to each other. No small hat Jews coming at talking about, we take money, we rape and pillage the world. Like, then there's the most evil people, taking money from the world. I don't see Asian people do that, but we do that, and we condone it, and we laugh at it as if it's entertainment, as if it's fun. This is entertainment. People are suffering. I come from those hoods where I seen certain things like that, where I seen people suffering, and people who crackheads and drug dealers, and understanding where that mindset comes from. I remember I was about 13 years old. I won't necessarily say this person was a friend of me, but I asked him, why do you do some of the stuff you do as far as gang stuff, jumping people and all that things? Because I grew up in a neighborhood, but I never was into any of that type of stuff. I've been jumped, I've been chased, I've been all that, but I still love my people. And he was like, a lot of it is attention. We don't get no attention. Just to have attention is anything. To have somebody looking at me, whether it's in a bad thing, just to show that somebody's thinking about me. And that psychology is sick. But that's why I feel like what comes out with Tommy is for attention. I don't care if it's negative attention, it gives me attention. And so that attention brings more attention and brings more views, and then those views turn into something else. And that's where that ideology, just like how we talk about the strippers and the ratchetness in the neighborhoods, that's where it comes from. That a negative attention brings something, that drama brings something. And so when we look at our news and we look at our society, what is the stuff that we look at on the news? We don't encourage the good. We don't want to see really actually the good. We want to talk about the good, but we want to encourage the negative. All our news, main thing we watch on news is bad news. Nothing good. Everything is bad. So it creates an economy, it creates a society economy. It creates a society of negative energy people, low vibration people. We are low vibration, and we following after our quote unquote masters. And I just want to say, man, we got to do better, man. This is not the way. Like, following Tommy Sotomayor is not the way. Like, you know, being on his side or that side, being on the side of right. I'm not on Brother Polite side. I'm not on anybody's side per se. I'm on the side of right. If Tommy says something that makes sense, and I've heard him say things that make sense, yeah, I'll be on that. You know, exposing certain things, yeah, I'll be on that. But I will never be on the side to diminish and degrade our people for profit. You know, because so many of us are suffering. So many of us are suffering and going through hell, and we make fun of people's plight until we really actually know. I have friends who lost both of their mothers and fathers. They living in the neighborhood and they still thriving and they still doing good. I have sisters you know, in my family who've been raped, you know, and who've been molested by them, and so they have a feeling and emotion, and we don't take the time to understand that. We just want to critique it and break it down. And so that's what I feel like Brother Polite was talking about in some of the videos. Like, we talk about the end effect. We don't want to talk about what led to this person being the way that they are. And that's what we got to do better at doing, better at communicating, instead of diminishing and picking sides and laughing at shit like everything is a minstrel show, everything is a comedy show. We got to do better. That's all I got to say, man. This is messing with me this morning. We got to do better. Peace and blessings, y'all.